Do you think that is now changing and there's a very different scenario right now?
I think we have begun to change. I think for the first time in many centuries, Indians are genuinely aggressively outward oriented, looking to innovate, we are no longer making excuses for our poor quality innovation by saying, yeah, to jugaad is a good thing. Till very recently, we used to make excuses for our lack of innovation by pointing to some very mediocre thing and say, oh, this is jugaad is innovation. Jugaad is not innovation. It's basically making do. But for the first time, we have a generation that is willing to do new things, do cutting edge things, break the barrier in all kinds of fields. You're seeing that in business, of course, all kinds of new firms are, startups are coming up, but you're seeing that even in other areas. I mean, in sports, for the first time, we're seeing, Indians are excelling in different kinds of sports other than cricket. And you're seeing that even in the kinds of films we are watching. If we used to watch all these kinds of films. Go and look at go and look at your favorite film from 30 years ago. Watch it again. Of course, you're probably too young to watch a film from 30 years ago, but those who are not, go and watch a film from 30 years ago, from the 90s or 80s, and now watch it. And it really will, even your favorite film looks strange now. The sets are all cardboard, the acting is overdone, the music mixing is badly done. It's just all shoddy. So, it's like the ambassador car. It's all basically shoddy. So this thing, there is clearly a change in the way we perceive these things. This is attempt to excel. I wouldn't say it's all pervasive, but for the first time, there is at least one class of Indians, particularly mostly young, but not necessarily all young, who are really pushing for global standards. And therefore, that's why I wrote that book, because the very early phase of that, when I wrote the book, I wrote it in 2007. The very early phase of that was beginning to become visible at that time. So now, 18 years later, I can say that, that did happen. I mean, we did see that boom. At that time, it was not visible. It hadn't happened. So at that time, I was speculating that that tip over may happen. Remember, at that time, we were the 14th largest economy in the world. We are now at number 4. So at that time, I was stating that this is maybe the direction we are going. And I think it's more clear 18 years after that book was written that, yes, we did, in fact, do not too badly. I'm not saying we have succeeded in everything, but long way from where we have come. And we are right now in Lower Parel. I have seen Lower Parel in the late 90s. It was really quite different. I mean, this alone tells you the journey of India. Now, we still have traffic jams here. There's lots we can improve. But look at the buildings around you right now. I mean, they just are totally different from the dilapidated mills that used to be here.
How was Lower Parel in the 90s? There were just mills all around.
Yeah, and there were derelict mills. You see, it's one thing to have come here in the 60s when there were mills, but they were functioning mills. Then there were all these strikes in the 80s, and then they all shut down. And then, so by the 90s, what you had is mills that were just lying around derelict, been shut down for 10 plus years. And, then Phoenix Mills was the first one that they began to transform into using. So they built some offices and some housing and so on. And so that was the first time that you saw a shift towards deploying into a modern economy. And then since then, things have moved quite a lot. And, infrastructure has come in of various kinds. You can always crib about the infrastructure should have been more. But there is no doubt that what you see today is vastly superior to what used to exist here before.
If you learned something new from this video, do share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel so that we can bring you the best content possible. Also, if you want to watch this entire episode, click on the link in the description box and you can go to Kushal Lodha YouTube channel and watch the entire podcast episode. Thank you so much for watching this and have an amazing day.